Once every generation, a man arrives on the scene that speaks the hopes and the aspirations of his entire time. Here is such a man, the star of our show, Gene Shepard. Bring it up.
Oh, that stupid theme. I have to admit something here that has not been said recently on television, that while that theme was playing, the entire crew was dancing around behind the cameras with their cold coffee in their hand. And tuna salad sandwiches, of course. It's fantastic to be back. I mean, you know, to be on tonight, all you TV cuckoos sitting out there, slack-jawed, waiting for a revelation from the big box. Oh, we got one for you tonight. The dancing fool is going to lay one on you here. Now, I don't quite know how to approach this, because it's a very sensitive, touchy subject. So if you will come up just a little bit closer, would you please sneak in here? Closer. Real close. Come on. Close. There. I have a confession to make. The other day, I'm standing on the platform of the 23rd Street IRT. And you know, they have these waste disposal baskets all around there. You know, it says, throw your junk here, keep the city clean. I see a guy sneak over wearing a blue Chesterfield, you know, the kind with the fancy velvet collars. He's got gray sideburns. He goes sidling over to the waste bin there, peers in, looks around. He reaches in and takes out a Daily News. Had a cigar butt still sticking to it. And then he went scurrying down the platform there, looking like the hounds of hell were after him. I know how he feels. When I walk down the street late at night and I see stuff that people have thrown out, I can hardly control myself. Just walking over there and kicking around and see if there's anything great in there. I mean, I love to look at junk. Now, that's not a thing that a grown-up man of reasonable achievement in our time will admit. Can you imagine Johnny Carson admitting that he secretly likes to sneak around and look in other guys' garbage? No, of course not. You just can't imagine Jimmy Carter doing that. That's why it bothers me. Why do I like this? I guess it was because when I was a kid, most of the education, the real education that me and Schwartz and Flick and Bruner got, came from walking up and down alleys after school. You'd be surprised what kind of an education you can get just looking at stuff laying on the ground. Now, this is a male thing, right, boys? You kick around. Ooh, geez, look at that. Hey, Schwartz, come here. And there'd be great arguments as to what it was. Junk. Love it. And so tonight's show, which is basically an extension of my own personal crotchety, is a salute to the 20th century's greatest contribution to the world. Greatest in the sense that it's the biggest contribution we've made. Junk. You ever thought of junk as a byproduct of human existence? And as a telltale clue as to what kind of existence people live? Junk. There's all kinds of junk. For example, there's video junk, which is disposable. For example, any interview that Barbara, anybody named Barbara on television, there's 50 Barbaras, has with Henry Winkler, immediately disposable. Or Farrah Fawcett Majors tonight will arm wrestle Peter Fonda. That's TV junk. It's designed to be thrown away. Just junk. That's what junk is, basically. Disposable. Have you ever thought of yourself? A human being. The amount of junk you have created in your lifetime, piled up behind you, all the way from the time you were 2 years old, you know, all those Pampers that you left behind in the beginning, empty boxes of Pablum. And then as you got older, cigarette butts that you would sneak around back of the garage, Coke cans, until finally you get to be a very, very rich person. You throw away old alligator belts, you know, junk. And so tonight we are going to celebrate the great outcropping of 20th century life as an art form, as a living testimony to the way we are. Junk. Junque. Junque. Oh. Ah, that old devil's sun has shone down on everything that man has ever created. The pyramids, the Sphinx, the Great Wall of China. But there is a specific new thing that is part of our century. They've never known this before in all of time. The great junkyard of eternity. Junk. Beautiful, rich, thick, lovely junk. Do you know that there is a junkyard subculture of people who are drawn to junkyards the way other people are drawn to the beach or to the mountains or to funeral parlors? There's junkyard freaks who can't drive past a junkyard without breaking out in a cold sweat. Why? Because the junkyard is the compost heap of time. It's all there. Sewing machines, Coke cans, bicycles, busted dolls, desiccated dreams. 200 years from now, when they dig into this junkyard, they're going to wonder, what is a comet? A comet custom. We know, right, friends? Just a bad car with lousy valves. Ah, the junkyards. Beautiful. Have you ever thought of the junkyard as the ultimate collage? It contains all of life. So friends, tonight we take this time out to salute something that we have created in our time that civilizations in the future are going to marvel at. What is all this junk? What drove them to make it? Above and all, the sun shines down on this curious barbaric beauty that is the eternal junkyard of all time. Ah, Junque. Beautiful, rich, thick junk. Garbage. Which, incidentally, I think fairly well describes most of our lives. Rotten thing to say. You know, speaking of junk, and that's what the subject of tonight's show is. A friend of mine, and this is an absolute true story, a very famous guy who's a famous cartoonist, he's got all kinds of dough, has his entire apartment in New York City completely furnished with junk. I mean, seriously, he's done it. And first of all, he's tight as hell. He finds it totally incapable of spending any money. He's the kind of guy that when you go out to dinner with him says, I'm on a diet, and then sits there all night, says, can I try that? You know, takes a snap of your sandwich. Says, you know, I don't drink, but I like the cherry in that Manhattan. Can I try it? You know? Next thing you know, he's eating everybody's food. He's a junk person. And every Wednesday night, he lives in New York. You know, Wednesday night is the official night where you throw out big stuff in your house. Like if you got a mattress you want to throw out, you throw out Wednesday night, it goes on the sidewalk down in front. 2 o'clock in the morning, he skulks out and goes up and down Park Avenue where you find the greatest junk of all. I mean, an old Chippendale desk. Guy's decided he wants to go into Louis XIV, and out goes to Chippendale. He's got his entire apartment decorated with junk. And the greatest thing that he has, that he ever found in junk raids, believe it or not, he has a tremendous bearskin rug. Somebody threw out. It's got a big bear, teeth. And he brought that home, and he's a bachelor, by the way. He loves to make the scene. He put that in front of his fireplace, which he built out of junk bricks that he found in Jersey. One night he has this girl there, you know, and they're lying on the rug, drinking this elegant wine, and having this great time. And the next day, she goes home. She's very romantic, you know, on the bearskin rug. The next day, he starts to itch. Well, 3 days go like that. He's itching all over the place. He goes in to see his doctor. His doctor examines him and says, I can't figure this out. You have a very rare infestation. You are infested with a very rare insect that's found only on the Kodiak bear. Junk. Never know when it's going to attack you. By the way, have you ever thought of one of the greatest sources of junk in our time is human life? Yeah, there's junk human beings. Just like there's junk objet d'art. We are now going to open the great book of existence and examine one such life. Junquet.
There's nothing left for me of days that used to be. I live in memory among my souvenirs. Some letters tied with blue.
This is Harrison L. Mitchell, 56. Harry, as he's called by the boys at Rotary, is and has been for 21 years the chief clerk in the purchasing department of a small steel fabricating plant near Malden, Massachusetts. In his youth, Harry was a better-than-average halfback on his high school football team, receiving 3 all-state mentions after scoring 12 touchdowns in his junior year, one on a 79-yard run from scrimmage. Few of his friends are aware that Harry, while flying a P-47 Thunderbolt over France, achieved 8 confirmed and 1 probable victories over Hitler's Luftwaffe. These victories included 4 Messerschmitt 109s. Harry rarely speaks of these days, and few, if any, of his acquaintances are aware of his late achievements. In 14 months, Harry will return home from the office, go immediately to his bedroom, and remove a Colt .38 caliber pistol from his dresser. Returning to the kitchen, he will shoot his wife Bertie dead with a single shot, after which he will turn himself in to the authorities. He will serve 7 years in the state prison for first-degree murder. After his parole for good behavior, when questioned about his deed, Harry will state, I have no regrets. I would do it again.
Among my souvenirs.
really sad. But was it sad? After all, he said, I have no regrets. How many of us can say that? No regrets. You know, it could very well be that you're a Twinkie wrapper of mankind. You know, something just, choom, gone. And your little name, Twinkie, goes spinning off into the cosmos. Well, it's time to get back to business here on this show dedicated to junk. And every evening we take great pride, and I really seriously mean that. We're privileged to be able to take our cameras live into the Palm Court, which is one of New Jersey's most elegant and certainly most exclusive dinner clubs, just to get a little touch of the entertainment that's going on at the Palm Court at this time. And now we give you the Palm Court. Welcome to Chez Junquet. La ta ti, la ta 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 ti 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 ti, la ta ti. It's time now to begin our elegant evening meal. Good evening, friends. We're here to truly enjoy one of the most magnificent examples of Junquet that has been produced by modern technology, specifically American technology. So join me at the table. Join me. We have here before us tonight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the most devoured meals in all of America. Right at this very minute, I would suggest that there are probably over 1 million people right now eating a Jumbo Jack. Quite possibly 2.5 million people are having a double Wendy. And so join me as we test, as we savor, as we enjoy. Oh, by the way, as an old fan of Wimpy, you all remember Wimpy, of course. Remember Wimpy's deathless words, "I'll pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today." How American, how basic. Just smell the aroma. And I might add that like all American and, in fact, world human phenomena, there is the good. There is the mediocre. And, of course, there is the unacceptable. It is our duty tonight to test and to savor. You'll notice that I'm using my junk bow tie. It clips on. I don't have my batteries with me or I'd get it spinning for you. Great conversation piece. Lights up in the dark. I can hardly wait to begin. So let's plunge right into it. All of you have probably eaten at one time or another at any one of these places, but we have assembled tonight a very special collection. You know, all over the world, people envy us for our quick food. They really do. I've met people wandering through Benares on the Ganges, the harassed look in the eye. So what's the matter? Just wish I could get a Big Mac. It's the real thing. And so now we'd like to test each one in its turn and see which one measures up. By the way, the Shepherd scale of 5 has never been achieved by any hamburger. It's, let's put it this way, the ne plus ultra. Well, how can I say it? It's the paradise of hamburgers. And paradise, as we all know, is not only lost and occasionally found, but is never totally achieved. And so let us begin. This is a Jack in the Box Jumbo. Now there are those, of course, I might add that all of these various beautiful pieces of American junk art have their own adherents, that the people who love the Jack in the Box Jumbo will never even often speak to the big boy fans. Why? Snobbery. Let's see what the... see, this is the way, by the way, a true gourmet will always remove the wrapping. Each wrapping is distinct. You'll notice the Jumbo Jack has a kind of a colorful wrapping. Here's this little Jack in the Box peering out at you, friendly little face. Oh yes, many's the evening I've shouted into that little clown's face, I want a double burger with fries. Now the true gourmet never rips the package. I mean, that would be like going into a French restaurant and just grabbing the fish by the tail. You insert the hand and carefully, as if removing a mitten at Aspen, about to go on the ski run, you carefully slip there. Whoop. Sorry. That's the excitement of eating here at Chez Junquet. Now, you'll notice that the Jumbo burger, the Jack in the Box Jumbo, is a very sloppy jumbo. As a matter of fact, it's characteristic of the entire Jack in the Box Jumbo cult. They love them sloppy. You can always tell a Jack in the Box eater by his red, white, and blue spotted tie. Heavily mayonnaised, and yet has a certain proletarian charm, a certain aggressive, peasant-like vitality. Interesting aftertaste. And these are the French fries that come with the Jack in the Box Jumbo. You notice the simple little package, understated, yet so redolent of promise. And the dinnerware that, of course, accompanies the Jack in the Box Jumbo. Now we move on to one of the more esoteric sects, that's spelled with a T, sects, in the hamburger world. This is the Wendy's Double Wendy, a very elegant hamburger, and by the way, a bit old-fashioned. They pride themselves on being, in a sense, the conservative among the hamburger people. Their hamburgers are solid, reliable, sober, and I might add, this would have been the hamburger that Wimpy himself would have enjoyed. I give the Jumbo Burger a 2. I give Wendy's a 3. Why a 3? Well, it's simply heft. The Wendy burger gives you a sense of achievement. It's like holding a small mayonnaise-covered bowling ball in your hand. And it's quite attractive. And you'll notice that their dinnerware also has certain style. Little napkin. And now we move on to one of the great favorites. In fact, this could be called the vin ordinaire of the hamburger world. This is the Burger King. Vin ordinaire for just going out. When you want to let it all hang out, you don't care whether things fall the way they should fall. In other words, you're just out driving your car along Route 22. It's not a special night. Stop in for a Big Boy. The Big Boy, of course, has the sesame seed roll, which will give you many things to do after you've eaten it, picking the seeds out of your teeth. Kind of a little added attraction. However, for my taste, the Big Burger here, the Big Boy, or the Jumbo Burger, the Whopper, excuse me, it's called the Whopper. I find it difficult to use these rather, well, The phrases of the masses, of course, sometimes do not fall trippingly over the tongue. This is the Whopper, spelled with an H, as in the belly whopper. And this certainly is a belly whopper. You put a couple of these down and your belly has been whopped. Elegant sandwich. Now we move on to Geno's. Geno's is a kind of an offshoot. Geno's could be roughly called the Baptist of the world's hamburger religions. This is the Geno's Special. You notice it's the only one that comes with a skirt, a certain basic modesty. But all with all, a rather interesting and somewhat fascinating hamburger. Now we come to the great, this in fact is the Ford Galaxy of all the hamburgers, the classical Big Mac, which comes encased in its polystyrene case. By the way, this will last for thousands of years at the ocean bed. This will never go away. This is what we call permanent junk. And now I toast you this evening, friends. This is one of my rare pieces of glassware collection, my genuine Ronald McDonald glass. And so it's been a superb evening here at Chez Junquet. Time now to light a cigar. Little after-dinner conversation, and then perhaps we'll go to my place. Good evening, think clean thoughts, and watch out for those sesame seeds.
And now our crew member of the week, associate producer and idea person Lee Brown of Washington, New Jersey.
If you too would like to be a Shepherd's Pie pen pal, here's our address. Shepherd's Pie, 1573 Parkside Avenue, Trenton, New Jersey, 08638.
And now our brave viewer of the week, Harold J. Johnson of Sod, Connecticut. He loves baking, builds model airplanes, and watches us every week. Good luck, Harold, and keep those props whirling.